I'm PJ Beers and I work as a researcher at DRIFT, the Dutch Research Institute for Transitions. In this video, I summarise how participants of our Shared Green Deal Arena introductory webinar saw the state of transition in the food stream. So, behind me, you can see the Axcarve, and it's become a really full and broad analysis that's basically all over the place. Nice! Let's begin with the top left corner of the Axcarve, where you can see the food regime in Europe. It is characterized by optimization, cost efficiency, cheap food and intensive monocultures with a strong reliance on inputs such as fertilizer and cheap labor. With that, the food regime has major impacts on the environment and climate, and also on social equality. Furthermore, the food we eat is predominantly meat-centered and highly processed, and our dominant diets go hand in hand with a record high prevalence of diet-related diseases such as diabetes and obesity. Fortunately, we do see governance that is trying to destabilize the unsustainable food system, such as the farm-to-fork strategy, which already has led to fierce debate and protests across Europe. Below that line, in the bottom left, this is where participants identified a rich flurry of innovative practices in the EU food stream. For example, the many alternative production practices that lean on regenerative or technological innovations, such as permaculture and aquaponics, and also the city as a place of production through urban and rooftop farming, while citizen-led initiatives and networks, such as the slow food movement, gain more and more political traction. Moreover, food chains become shorter and more localized, and diets are increasingly more plant-based and personalized. Let's look at the top right corner of the Axcarve. Here we see what better and more fair futures for Europe in 2050 the participants of the webinar came up with. It is a mix of existing and necessary policies and instruments. Participants saw the Eat Lancet diet as the institutionalization of a more sustainable, future-proof diet, which entails more vegetarian and vegan consumption. However, on the whole, there still seems to be a lack of implementation in terms of rules and regulations, despite promising policy developments such as the farm-to-fork strategy. For a more sustainable future, we need a stronger emphasis on circularity and a One Health perspective. Finally, in order to make that happen, the regime line also needs to move down in the Axcarve. We need breakdown of regime elements that have become obsolete. However, breakdown now seems to be focused mainly on banning the use of certain pesticides and addressing non-sustainable food packaging. Phase-out itself has not received the attention that it needs. For example, phase-out of subsidies that support unsustainable agriculture practices, or phase-out of subsidies that promote unnecessary food miles appear to be mostly missing. To summarize, we see a lot of experiments that are gaining traction in an increasingly destabilized food system. We might even be on the cusp of a transition takeoff, especially with more active attention to institutionalizing the sustainable preferred futures. Think fully aligning the common agricultural policy with the farm-to-fork strategy. Thank you.